Vermeil has them back on the winning track. For this man, however, today's game could be his last as an NFL coach, and that is Ray Perkins of the Giants.
That's right, Brent. Ray Perkins will be leaving the Giants after the season to replace Bear Bryant at the University of Alabama. Some of the Giants believe that decision has had an unfortunate effect on the team's performance and playoff chances. I'll be looking at that story.
This is it, the last chance for several NFL teams that still have a chance of making the playoffs. I'll be telling you what teams will still be alive after today and who will have to call it bye-bye until next season. Phyllis?
Jimmy, I don't know how you feel about San Francisco, but I can tell you one thing. The defending Super Bowl champs have their confidence back. One reason they expect to win today and make the playoffs is because of the way the NFL's leading receiver, Dwight Clark, has been playing. I talked to Dwight this week. We'll have that story and lots more on the NFL Today.
Sponsored by the 1983 Volkswagens. Nothing else is a Volkswagen. And by True Value Hardware Stores. True Value, more than just a name. It's our way of doing business. And now, here's Brent Musburger.
Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to the last weekend of regular season action in the NFL. Actually, this was supposed to be the first Sunday of the playoffs, the wild card games, but the long player strike, of course, put the kibosh on that. So instead, it is makeup weekend, the ninth and final games of this strike-shortened season. Phyllis, you were out yesterday covering the Rose Parade. There was a fire on one of the floats. Was anybody injured?
No one was injured. The man driving the float got out the back. It's just the engine blew up. It's fine. Everybody had a good time.
Jimmy, I know that you were like me, keeping your eyes glued to the television set yesterday. Any doubt in your mind that Penn State now is #1 in the country?
Not only are they #1, they have the #1 coach and the #1 quarterback. Take my word for it, he's good, that kid.
We have both of them with us live down in New Orleans. We want to congratulate and wish a very happy New Year to Joe Paterno of Penn State and his fine quarterback, Todd Blackledge. Joe, I guess this is probably the first day in a month that you will not have to look at pictures of one Herschel Walker. What was your defensive game plan against Herschel? You were very successful against him in the second half.
Well, we played a very determined organized defense, actually. We were concerned about two basic things. We didn't want him to cut back on us. He was one of those kinds of kids that had so much confidence in his strength that when he took the football, he'd just kind of fool around and take a couple of shots until he got a crack on the backside and then take it and explode upfield. He had such great acceleration. So we wanted to play slow, play behind him. And then when he decided to take the outside, we wanted to make sure that we forced him to make a cut up where he had to give a little ground, so that our defensive secondary, particularly our safety man, Mark Robinson, would have a chance to get a shot at him before he turned up square in that position. And we did a good job doing that. He very rarely got turned upfield on us with his shoulder square. Most of the time we had him in a position where he couldn't go right and left. He had to go right, because when he's got your head up, there's nobody in the world can tackle him one-on-one. He'll run over you or he'll make you miss. And I think we just kind of, when we forced him outside, we wanted to force him deep, pursue from the inside with our safety man. When he cut back, we wanted to play slow and be waiting for him. And I think overall our kids did a good job doing that. He's a great football player, and I was very pleased the way we played defense against him.
Joe, you have been in Bobby Collins' place down at SMU, unbeaten and not voted #1 in the country. That's going to happen to him. What are your feelings now, and will we ever get to the tournament that you've talked about so often?
Well, because we were undefeated and untied on 3 different occasions, which and didn't get it. And I can appreciate Bobby's situation. I didn't feel at that time there was anybody that outstanding that we should not have been considered at least co-champions. I think this year we've proven with the schedule we've had that, and the people we've played and beaten in the last couple of months that we had the best football team in the country. My feelings on the playoffs are we ought to have them. I felt right along that we would be great right now if after the bowl season was over we had 4 teams picked and we were playing the 2 games next Saturday and a game the following Saturday, semifinals and finals, and we'd end up with 2 teams playing 14 games and 2 teams playing 2 teams playing 13 games, and that's what you have in the rest of the NCAA. Division 1A, they play the champion play 14 games and the runner-ups play 13 games, and that's what we would have. And I think that would be exciting.
Joe, let's switch over to your fine quarterback, Todd Blackledge. And Todd, of course, you said last week down in New Orleans that you would go professional if you were drafted in the first 2 rounds. I assumed you were talking about the NFL. What about the United States Football League and the prospects that they'll come after you in the spring?
Well, that's definitely a possibility this year. It's something new for everybody who's coming out and entering the draft this year. But my goals, my aspirations have been to play in the NFL. That's what I would like to do. And I would like to be a first-round draft pick in the NFL. I'm just going to have to sit back and check some things out and to view some things and see where I stand with the people in the NFL, and also give some consideration to the USFL if they're talking the kind of money that possibly a first or second round draft in the NFL would be talking. So there's a lot of intangibles that I want to look at, and I'm going to do that in the next couple weeks. All right, Todd and Joe, congratulations. Job well done.
Thanks a lot, and Happy New Year to you fellas.
All right. Now for the showdown in the National Football League, and what a wild and crazy shootout we have for you today. 10 teams will be scrambling for the 4 remaining spots in the Sweet 16 playoff jamboree. So let's take a look at what you should be watching for this afternoon.
First, the AFC. 6 teams in that conference have clinched playoff berths, and that leaves 2 spots up for grabs. The winner of the New England Buffalo game is assured of one of them, and the Cleveland Browns are in regardless of how they do against Pittsburgh, except if the Patriots and the Bills tie. The AFC, easy routine arithmetic. Let's move on to the higher calculus of the NFC. 6 teams in that conference have also nailed down playoff spots. But 7 other teams are battling for the 2 remaining berths, and of them, the only one that has total control of its own destiny is Tampa Bay. If the Buccaneers beat Chicago today or tie, they are in regardless of what happens in the other games. But if the Buccaneers lose to Chicago, they are virtually eliminated. San Francisco is in the next best position. If the defending Super Bowl champions beat the Rams, they are in, except, believe it or not, if the Giants and Eagles tie. Then the 49ers would need help. The Chicago Bears. Now, they make the playoffs if they win and either Detroit or San Francisco lose. The Detroit Lions, they are in if they defeat Green Bay and Tampa Bay loses. And even if the Buccaneers win, the Lions can still make it if San Francisco loses and one of 3 teams also lose. The New Orleans Saints, they must win, and both Detroit and San Francisco must lose. And in addition, one of these 3 teams must lose. The Philadelphia Eagles, they need one of 2 scenarios to happen for them to make the playoffs. They must beat the Giants, and the following 3 teams must lose, or these 4 teams must lose. The Giants are in a similar position. They need a victory over the Eagles and losses by all 3 teams or losses by these 4 teams.
Irv, that's perfectly clear. But who do you like today?
Listen, I'll tell you. If you're playing today, all you do is say, let's go out and win. You know, the Eagles feel they have an outside chance, but the San Francisco 49ers have to lose to the Rams and blah, 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 blah. You know.
Tomorrow night's game in Minneapolis between the Vikings and Dallas holds the key to seedings and matchups in the playoffs. But because of a little weather problem at the Metrodome earlier this week, it appeared for a while as though that game might be played elsewhere.
The proud Metrodome, built to resist the harsh Minnesota winters.
I don't know that the snow ever could make it cave in.
But Mother Nature did score a victory over the Engineers a year ago. Then last week, it did it again. A snow removal effort caused it to deflate. A new roof, however, is being installed today, and they should be able to play Dallas tomorrow night.
Unless, of course, it snows again in the Twin Cities tomorrow. The NFL Today will continue on CBS in just a moment.
When the biggest newspaper in Oklahoma bought 40 Volkswagen diesel pickups, we weren't surprised. It has a tough double-wall bed. It's the best mileage pickup in America. And no matter what the weather, these pickups crisscross Oklahoma, hauling up to half a ton of newspapers every day. So, if you ask the folks at the Daily Oklahoman about Volkswagen, they'll probably say what we've been telling you for 25 years. Volkswagen delivers.
Enhance any table setting with gleaming flatware from Imperial International. A complete 37-piece service for 8 is now specially priced at just $12.88 as True Value Hardware Store's January bargain of the month. This stainless steel flatware set includes 8 4-piece place settings plus 5 serving pieces in your choice of 2 patterns. So hurry in and get the 37-piece set for just $12.88 while supplies last at participating True Value hardware stores.
The Florida Keys and Milwaukee, Wisconsin are a whole country apart. But to these guys, they both mean something great. The Keys mean stone crab, big and fresh, and Milwaukee means beer, cold, crisp, old Milwaukee, and the smooth, golden light taste of old Milwaukee Light. And man, were they made for food like this. And old Milwaukee. And old Milwaukee Light. Tastes as great as its name.
It doesn't get any better than this. I did not have the opportunity to disagree with my friend the Greek a little bit earlier when he said Todd Blackledge was the #1 quarterback in college football. If you're like me, you were shocked. What about John Elway?
Oh, he's good, no question about it. But the question is he going to play football or is he going to play baseball? And George Steinbrenner is going to make such an offer at this kid. I mean, forget about it. The best he can do is get $2.2 million maybe from a football team for 4 years, and Steinbrenner will better that. That's my opinion.
Jimmy, there's a good young quarterback at Chicago, Jim McMahon, and the Bears are down in Tampa Bay. How do you analyze that game?
You know, these two teams play so close, and John, for Tampa Bay, seems to hold the teams close on these tough ball games. But I think this is going to be an open ball game, and Williams will outpass McMahon.
All right, there's a grudge match going on in Philadelphia today, the Giants and the Eagles.
I know the Eagles have more incentive than the Giants do for this game. I think the Giants have thrown it in. Now, maybe I'm wrong about that. It'll be a tough ball game, but I think the Eagles will win it. In fact, the Eagles will win it.
Perhaps the two most underrated teams in the NFC square off. St. Louis and Washington. The Redskins still do not get the credit due them for the tremendous season they've had.
But Mosley and Theismann do. Tell you, this is a real tough ball game, and you talk about two teams playing defense. These two teams know how to do it. You know, we've been very good with the Redskins this year. I'm going to tell you one thing. You're not going to believe this. St. Louis is going to beat them today.
All right, Jimmy. If you say so, I'll believe it. Our big doubleheader game, of course. At least we thought it was going to be big. The Rams have thrown it in, taken on the 49ers, and the 49ers need a win to get back to the playoffs.
Hey, the Rams offensively have been super. Really, they have. I mean, you know, 500 yards last week passing against the Bears. The 49ers are coming on a little bit right now. Wendell Tyler is hurt for the Rams. We have to go with the 49ers because they seem to be more disciplined.
Jimmy, you mentioned Ray Perkins of the Giants. We're going to take a look at him when the NFL Today continues on CBS in just a moment.
Now, Old Spice gives you two-fisted protection with original Old Spice deodorant and now new Super Dry Antiperspirant. Both have that famous Old Spice scent. So what's the difference? Old Spice deodorant helps knock out odor. And now new Old Spice Antiperspirant fights odor while it helps wipe out wetness. And they both work overtime. Old Spice, one name that gives you two-fisted protection.
I've got $100,000 in this rig, and I protect my investment with Kendall Motor Oil. So when my son asks...
This isn't a big rig like Dad's, but it's a big investment for me. So I took Dad's advice and protect my investment with Kendall Superb 100 gas-saving motor oil. Its special friction fighters keep my car running smooth and help save gas. You don't have to have a lifetime of experience to have confidence in Kendall. Just a smart dad.
Protect your investment with Kendall Confidence.
A lot of people get all confused about Campbell's Chunky. Take this chunky vegetable beef. On the one hand, it's a soup, so a guy can eat it with a spoon. On the other hand, it's got all these chunks of beef and potatoes and vegetables a guy is able to eat with the fork. So is it a soup or is it a meal? Let Joey solve this. Chunky is the soup that eats like a meal.
Chunky vegetable beef. It's the soup that eats like a meal.
For the New York Giants, this has been a year of one loss after another. Not only games, although they've lost 5 of them, but also key personnel. They lost their first-string quarterback, Phil Simms, for the entire season to a knee injury, and their star running back, Rob Carpenter, for half a season because of a contract dispute. Now, as soon as their season ends, probably today, they will lose their coach, Ray Perkins, to the University of Alabama, and that may be the biggest loss of all. On December 11th, Ray Perkins' Giants were in the process of whipping the Philadelphia Eagles. It would be their third straight win, and a playoff berth seemed all but assured. For Coach Ray Perkins and his Giants, nothing on the field seemed likely to stop their momentum. But events off the field may have contributed to stopping the Giants' playoff drive right in its tracks.
There comes a time in every profession when you need to hang it up. And that time has come for me as head football coach at the University of Alabama.
I will be leaving the New York Giants, going to the University of Alabama as head football coach.
The Giants named Bill Parcells, the defensive coordinator, as a replacement for Perkins after the 1982 season. In the 2 weeks following Perkins' announcement, the Giants lost twice. In both cases, the team lost in the last minute of the game. Was the decision to leave enough of a distraction to cost the Giants a possible playoff berth?
Touchdown! I think it was a distraction to me. I think it was a distraction to our coaching staff and certainly to our players. I really question whether it had enough to actually be the deciding factor of whether we won or lost those 2 games.
If he was, still a head coach around here for next year coming up, I think that we would have won the last 2 games because the guys would have probably put out a little extra effort. But right now, they're not putting out as much effort as they should put out.
Does having a lame duck head coach and the heir apparent on the same sideline cause problems?
It's a little bit of a funny feeling. You're a head coach of a team, but yet you're not really the head coach. I know that Bill is evaluating different type things than he was before.
I've certainly tried to restrict my role to just what it is at this point, and that's an assistant coach.
A football team relies on a head coach for leadership and inspiration. The day after the last-second loss to Washington, and while his present team was working out at Giant Stadium, Ray Perkins visited his future team in Alabama.
I did miss a meeting with our players on Monday afternoon, which is just a normal meeting to bring them in and work them out a little bit on Monday afternoon. But as far as taking anything away from my job here, no, I don't think it did at all.
I was somewhat bewildered by his exodus, I guess you could say, down to Alabama. Being selfish, I would like to have seen him here after the loss to Washington.
Besides preparing for today's Eagles game, there have been other demands on Ray Perkins' time. Time to tape the Ray Perkins Show, and time to watch Alabama play in the Liberty Bowl. If the Giants do not make the playoffs, today will be Ray Perkins' last day as their head coach. Someone asked me if I had any plane tickets to Alabama. No, I haven't made that type plans. I don't think it takes that long to buy an airplane ticket.
Herb, I'm surprised that the Giants did not ask him to step aside after the announcement. Just the locker room gossip takes up too much time.
Well, Alabama forced it. They wanted to make an announcement right away, and the Giants simply complied with it.
All right. When we come back, Phyllis is going to take a look at a man who's still getting it done for the 49ers, Dwight Clark, and we'll do that on CBS in just a moment.
A bit. In fact, Dwight Clark just keeps on getting better and better. Clark's statistics through 8 games are numbers most players would be proud of for an entire season. But the 49ers rushing attack in the league. So while Clark is making the big plays, his body is paying the price.
The only thing that worries me about it is it might shorten my career down the line. You get a knack for catching the ball, and when you know it's going to be one of those times where they're really coming after you, just go to the turf fast.
Clark has a reputation for having a good time off the field, too. He's no longer dating a former Miss Universe, and that means there's more time to enjoy what City by the Bay has to offer.
I tell you, you guys, I want you to win, but I like the Dallas Cowboys.
You had a rough year last year then, didn't you?
Oh, no, I did. I lost a lot of money when the 49ers played the Cowboys.
Did you lose a lot of money?
Yeah.
I made a lot.
So, will success, fame, fortune, and one fabulous catch spoil Dwight Clark?
I don't really think of myself as a superstar. There's a lot of things that I think I can improve on, so that's what I try to do.
Brent, next Saturday is Dwight Clark's 26th birthday, and guess what he wants for a big present?
What?
What would you think? To play Dallas again in the first round of the playoffs and beat them with another big catch.
If you don't go out with Miss Universe, it obviously allows you more time for the rest of the world.
That's right.
And the NFL Today will continue on CBS in just a moment.
German engineering in our fuel-injected Jetta is absolutely obvious in every single detail, especially this one. And though you might find some of these details on some other German sports sedans, you'll find this one
under $8,000?
Only on a 1983 Volkswagen Jetta.
We're throwing a beer party here in New York. The people don't know the name of the beer they're drinking.
It's good beer. It's crisp, it's light, robust, tastes good.
I'd like to know what kind of beer it is.
Can I find out what this is afterwards?
It's Schaefer. Today's Schaefer beer.
Schaefer? It is surprising to me. Why? Because I didn't think Schaefer put out such a good beer. Well, I was told it wasn't any good, and I think they're wrong. It is good.
Today's Schaefer is better than ever. Try it. And try new Schaefer Light. They'll make a Schaefer drinker out of you.
It's there. It's there for me. It's what I want.
We have no choice. He can't turn back. Rivalry target at 039. Under control. Way to go.
In West Canyon.
Good call. Fuel critical, sir.
Choppers at 3 o'clock. Roger, I copy.
By the road, you like the Ritza? No, he'll decide that. Fuel critical, sir. He knows that.
He's off for the East Canyon.
Negative, that's a trap.
River 8 to home sweet home and heading for this area.
Can you make it? River 8, can you make it?
Only a game. River 8 for the Atari Video Computer System, designed by Carol Shaw for Activision.
Or who will be our legend at halftime of the first game?
Jim Taylor, Green Bay Packers.
Jimmy, which 4 teams are going to wrap up playoff spots today?
Well, Tampa definitely with San Francisco. And then New England upset Buffalo.
And finally, Cleveland to be the other team.
Well, Cleveland has to get in, unless they play a tie. And, boy, there sure would be a lot of problems.
All right. And, Phyllis, we want to remind everybody that this is doubleheader day, and we're going to fill the air with footballs in that Los Angeles-San Francisco game.
Good game.
Sit back and enjoy the NFL Today on CBS.
Tonight on CBS, Archie turns Barney on to the joys of video dating. But can Archie turn him off?
This is a nightmare.
And has Gloria found the perfect man?
You're married?
Then, Louise Jefferson goes up the river.
The walls are closing in on me.
And on One Day at a Time, Sam has a brilliant idea.
I would love to hear your terrific idea.
Marry me. Then on Trapper John, is Gonzo's friend dying or faking it for money?
The man is committing fraud.
Great moments tonight.
This is CBS.
A good job after graduation is often hard to find. But the Andover business graduate stands a head above. Why? Because today, job placement is just as important as earning a degree. And Andover College, in addition to offering associate degrees in business, also offers assistance in job placement. Added up, quality education with a bonus of job placement assistance. Explore it at Andover College. Contact them today.
The night janitor cleaning an empty broadcast booth eyes the microphone. A fantasy forms.
It's the rock and roll lady with you on the blimp.
I like it. Beep, beep, yeah.
WBLM is a remarkable radio station.
Leading the Irish to a lopsided victory.
How things have changed. December the 27th, 1981. Last year's wild card playoff between the Giants and the Eagles. Scott Bruner is the Giants quarterback. Rob Carpenter is the fullback. They're both back today in the same spot. But it was on defense that both teams excelled last year, and the Giants were led by their sensational rookie Lawrence Taylor. Eagle coach Dick Vermeil says Taylor is the best defensive player in pro football. Now it's this year, December 19th, 1982, RFK Stadium, Washington. The Giant record is 3-3, and they seem playoff bound. But with the Giants leading 14-12, Mark Mosley's record-breaking field goal lifts the Redskins over the Giants on the last play of the game. Last week in St. Louis, again the end of the game. Giants leading 21-17. On the Cardinals' last possession, quarterback Neil Lomax hit Roy Green, and the Giant record drops to 3-5. Meanwhile, the Eagles' record is 3-5 also, and they're on the rise. They've won their last two. Last week in Dallas, the Eagles beat the Cowboys 24-20. As Ron Jaworski hit Harold Carmichael for the clincher from 19 yards out. So today, with both teams with faint playoff hopes still alive, it's the Giants and the Eagles in the regular season finale. Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. The stadium is not sold out. As a matter of fact, yesterday, there were some 17,000 tickets remaining. Nevertheless, it's a good afternoon. I'm Pat Summerall. It would take most of the rest of the afternoon and a master's degree from MIT to explain all the playoff possibilities for the teams around the league. So we won't get entirely into that. We'll try to help you out some and understand what the possibilities are. First of all, the teams who have qualified. Washington, Dallas, Green Bay, Atlanta, St. Louis, and Minnesota. All of those are in the playoffs. As the day begins, those 7, Tampa Bay, Chicago, Detroit, New Orleans, San Francisco, the Giants, and Philadelphia, all have some sort of a chance to get into the playoffs. The Rams, then, are the only team that is entirely out of it with their 1-7 record. New York Giants playoff hopes. Here are the possibilities. 1, a victory today, of course. Chicago loses to Tampa Bay. New Orleans loses to Atlanta. San Francisco to the Rams. And Dallas on Monday night loses to Minnesota. That's one possibility. The other scenario, a victory today. Detroit loses to Green Bay. New Orleans loses to Atlanta. San Francisco to the Los Angeles Rams. Understand that? Well, now let's go to Philadelphia. Their playoff hopes. A victory today, of course. Chicago to Tampa Bay. San Francisco loses to the Rams. Detroit to Green Bay. Dallas to Minnesota. And the other possibility, victory today, Detroit loses to Green Bay, New Orleans loses to Atlanta, and San Francisco loses to the Los Angeles Rams. No way do I understand that. I'm sure my colleague John Madden can explain it to you quite simply. But, John, it really is so complicated and too complicated to really get into it. Do you think it has an effect on the team?
I don't think so. I don't think that the players and coaches understand it either, Pat. I think what they want to do is go out and play a good game today, win, then they'll go home and watch these other games on television today, tonight, and if they win, someone will call them up Monday and say, hey, we're still playing.
Now, quickly, John, what do the Giants have to do and what do the Eagles have to do?
Well, both coaches said that they have to establish the run. Now, that could be a lot of punting in that type of game, but Dick Vermeil says, you know, we're a playoff team that just fouled up this year, and we'd like to win at the end of the season and have some carryover into next year. Ray Perkins says it's my last game. He said, I'd like to win for the team so that they have good memories of this season, and he said, I'd like to win for myself so that my last game as an NFL coach will be a winner that I can always remember.
And, John, Tony Franklin, at whom you look right now, will get things started as the Eagles will kick off to the Giants. Butch Wolfolk will be one of the deep men. The Giants' #1 draft choice back there with Mike Dennis and Larry Heater, number 27. Barefooted Tony Franklin will start it. There are a lot of empty seats at Veterans Stadium. Eagle record is 3-5. The Giants are 3-5. Both teams once again have slim playoff hopes. Franklin hangs it high. It'll be Wolfolk at the 8. Swings it to his left. Penalty marker goes down on the opening kickoff, and it'll probably be some sort of an illegal block. Louis Giamona made the stop. The referee is Red Cashin, and he'll let us know what happened in just a minute.
We see Louis Giamona there. We just saw him there. He tore a bicep muscle last week on the opening kickoff. Played the entire game with it. Has a swollen right arm.
They were saying yesterday that it looked like somebody had poured a bottle of red wine.
Illegal block during the run back. Number 37 by the receivers. It's 1st and 10.
1st and 10 for the Giants. They start right where Wolfolk received the kickoff at the 8-yard line. No score, of course. First play from scrimmage. Scott Bruner, the quarterback. One running back is Rob Carpenter. 2 tight ends for the Giants. Bruner on first down throws outside to Mulledy. About a 4-yard pickup to about the 12, 11, 3 yards. Bernard Wilson knocked him out of bounds.
One of the things Ray Perkins was saying last night is they want to go 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, 1 back in the backfield as a passing formation. He said when we want to run, we'll have 2 backs in the backfield.
He says that 2 tight end formation makes the Eagles do some things they don't like to do on defense. Now there are 2 men in the backfield, Woolfolk and Carpenter. So according to what John Madden said, that should be a run. Carpenter on the draw, straight ahead. Outside the 15, about the 17. Dennis Harrison was the first man to hit him. Let's look at the Eagle defense. They play a 3-4, 3 down linemen, Harrison, Clark, and Carl Hairston. The linebackers, John Bunting, Jerry Robinson, Frank Lemaster, and Reggie Wilkes. And the secondary, Roynell Young, Herman Edwards, Randy Logan, and Bernard Wilson. Down, looks like about a foot. Scott Bruner's year in 1982. He had his best day last week against St. Louis with 29 completions, 2 touchdowns, 2 running backs, Woolfolk and Carpenter. Mulledy is flanked to the right. They go with Carpenter. Carpenter lunges outside the 21st down. Jerry Robinson on the tackle. I'd imagine that after the long holdout and the strike and all the interruptions, that Carpenter just right now is about reaching playing condition.
That was the thing. You know, the big thing with Carpenter, of course, he held out until after the strike. The big thing is he missed training camp. I'll tell you, it takes a lot of making up to do to make up for a missed training camp.
No matter how hard you work out individually or on your own, you just can't get it done. That's Eddings in motion. Brunner back to throw. Mulledy picked up about 7 yards, tripped by Jerry Robinson.
Let's watch this. We see John Bunting on him. He hits Mulledy off the line of scrimmage, releases him to Jerry Robinson. He runs underneath Robinson and gets the ball for about a 7 or 8 yard pickup. That's a good pass play in lieu of a run.
Tom Mulledy, ever since he's been with the Giants, been in a battle for the starting position with Gary Shirk. 2nd and 3. This is Woolfolk. He got a first down. Outside the 32 to about the 33. John Bunting once again made the tackle. Ray Perkins said he felt we had to run against the Eagles to be effective.
And Dick Vermeil said the same thing, that the Eagles have to run to be effective against the Giants.
The Giant offensive line is Benson, Ard, Humphrey at center, Turner, and Gordon King. And the receivers will be telling you about all afternoon, and the backs. Brunner, the quarterback. 1st and 10 Giants at their own 34. No score. Now they go with the 2 wide receivers, wide to the left, and here comes Woolfolk in motion. Brunner back to throw. Throws to Woolfolk. Mulledy cuts it off in front of him and gets another Giant first down. John Bunting on the stop. 11-yard pickup.
I like this mixture that the Giants have. We see Mulledy coming here again, coming off the line. He's just going to run a little out there, catch the ball right in front of Woolfolk. As you said, it looked like Woolfolk was going to catch it, but Mulledy knew all along he was getting it.
And so did Brunner.
Said, hey, that's the tight end's pass. That's not the back's pass, man.
At the 45, first down Giants. First possession. 1st and 10. Brunner, good protection, fires to Eddings, complete. At the Eagle 37, Bernard Wilson, the nearest defender. What a good throw and a good catch, 18-yard pickup.
Of course, Eddings is a rookie starting his first game today. We see he's working against the zone, off the line. He's going to run it in. He's behind the linebackers in front of the secondary. Brunner sees him, lays it out there for him. A fine catch. Let's watch the rookie. Here's number 59, Humphrey. He's the only rookie starting center in the league. I'll tell you, he does a pretty good job. Look at that, in the pit. Boom, boom, whack.
He does do a good job. 1st and 10. Woolfolk swings out in motion again. Brunner, with all kinds of time, did that on purpose. Threw it out of bounds. Eddings was the nearest Giant. Brunner did the wise thing.
He did, and that's a good time to do it. On 1st down, you have 1st and 10. That's a good reason to throw on first down is that you don't have to force anything. The worst thing to happen, you throw it out of bounds, and you tee it up for second down. I like the way the Giants are starting, though. They're not starting that conservative run, long yardage pass, and then have to punt. Great mixture on this drive.
Remember what Ray Perkins said to us last night when you asked him what he thought the key to victory would be? He said, we got to get on top early. Eddings in motion. Melody. Stopped quickly by Bernard Wilson. So far, the Giants, because of the way they picked up yardage, have been able to keep the Eagles out of that four-man rush. Now they should go into it. Melody's already caught 4 passes.
Look at this. This is interesting. On first down plays so far that have 5 of them, the Giants have thrown every one of them. I like that. Ray Perkins likes that. He's probably looking to see if he has another one on there that'll work on third down.
3rd and 5, and now the Eagles go into what they consider their best pass defense. 4 down linemen, 1 linebacker, and 6 defensive backs. Rob Carpenter is the lone setback for the Giants. Winner will throw. He has time. He does. Eddings. Hit by Richard Blackmore, very close to a first down. It just depends on where they mark it.
This is the type of thing. Eddings is working underneath. We see it's a zone underneath the linebackers, underneath the secondary. That's the good part, and he catches the ball. The bad part is he came up short of the first down, brings up 4th down, and the Giants are going to go for a field goal.
Danilo is in the game. You have to be impressed by the speed of Eddings. He can really move. Bruner will hold for Danilo from 45 yards out. 8 out of 16 on the year for Danilo. It has not been a banner year for him. That one will help. That had plenty of room to spare from 45 yards out. Danilo puts the Giants up early. That's his longest field goal of the year. So with 8:56 left to play in the first quarter, Ray Perkins Giants lead 3-0. Giants lead the Eagles 3-0 with 8:56 left to play in the first quarter. Joe Danilo will kick off, and back deep for the Eagles, Melvin Hoover. And that's Wally Henry, number 89. Hoover is 85. Wally Henry has been serving that function for Philadelphia for the last few years very well. There's Melvin Hoover, number 85. The other returner. Probably like for him to handle it. A pop-up. Danilo gets the ball over down to the Eagle 20. Hoover jumps up, and he's lucky to come up with the ball. Beasley Reese down quickly. That almost turned into disaster for Philadelphia. An unintentional onside kick. Here's the Eagle offense. Jaworski and Montgomery and Harris, the 3 backs, and Carmichael and Ron Smith, the wide receiver. Up front, Spagnola, Walters, Kenny Morris, Ron Baker, and Frank Giddens, number 79. Remember that name. He did a whale of a job last week against Too Tall Jones down in Dallas. He's 6'8" and 300 pounds.
That'll fill up a uniform for you. In fact, that'll fill up one side of the line of scrimmage for you.
And didn't he do a good job last week?
He sure did. Took him short, right on the line of scrimmage.
2 tight ends for the Eagles, Vito Cabb and John Spagnola. This is Spagnola in motion. The handoff is to Leroy Harris. Faced by Terry Jackson. Faced by Lawrence Taylor and knocked out of bounds by Taylor. The Giant defense, they play 3 men down. McGriff plays the run, Martin the pass. In the middle, a new name. Number 78 is Jerome Sally. At right end, Phil Tabor, number 80. The linebacking core, Van Pelt, Kelly, Carson, and Lawrence Taylor. And in the secondary, Mark Haynes and Terry Jackson, the corners, Bill Courier and Beasley Reese, the safety men. Mark Haynes headed for the Pro Bowl along with Taylor, Carson, and Dave Jennings, the punter. We look at Guy Morris, the Eagles center, and a good one. Spagnola in motion again. And off again to Harris. And Jerome Sally made the hit. Harris very close to a first down, however.
I'll tell you who did a good job on that play is Lawrence Taylor right there. He stayed at home. And we'll see what happened is as Harris comes up. He's trying to bounce to the outside. Now watch Taylor. He stays right there, right next to his end. No bounce out. So that forces Harris back to the inside, back into the nose tackle. That's containment. Stay outside. Don't let him bounce outside. Make him go back inside.
They'll measure for a first down. It's one of those cases where we don't mention his name because he didn't make the tackle, but he made it possible. A foot short.
Let's watch it again. We see the I formation. We see Harris. It's going to be a cutback. Now watch, he cuts back. He wanted to go all the way around the left side. He couldn't, and he was forced right back into all those white jerseys.
There is the new man. He was the last cut earlier this year by the New Orleans Saints. The Giants signed him after he left there, and now he's the starting nose tackle. Spagnola again in motion. And on to Harris, going for the first down. I don't think he got it. Phil Tabor was the first Giant to make contact.
I'll tell you, this is a spot. This will be an interesting spot here, how they decide where that ball is, but I don't think he made it either. Oh, they brought it back. He lost yardage on that play.
Sure did.
Fans boo. They don't like it. Good booers here in Philadelphia.
Oh, some of the best championship booers.
Watch it from here. You see Tabor close it down right down the line of scrimmage with Taylor. You see Lawrence Taylor came down there, just grabbed him with the right arm and said, "That's enough, Leroy Harris."
Max Runager back to punt for Philadelphia, and Leon Bright deep for the Giants. There's Leon. In the first game between these two teams, he just killed the Eagles with punt returns. At his best day ever. Good kick by Runager. Bright takes it at the 18. Leon Bright still on his feet, knocked down short of the 30 by Zach Valentine. A 47-yard punt by Runager, a 10-yard punt return by Leon Bright. Slater is injured for the Eagles. The Giants 3, Philadelphia nothing. 7:28 left first quarter.
Here's big news from GM.
This is a short yardage play. We just want to watch Lawrence Taylor and Phil Tabor, how when the ball snapped, they both closed down the line of scrimmage and shut off any running lane to Leroy Harris. Now watch them both. Those two outside men on the line of scrimmage. Watch the ball snap. Tabor's going to take an inside charge. Taylor takes an inside charge, and they get to Harris before he gets to the line of scrimmage.
Now the Giants take over for the second time. 1st and 10 at their own 28. Offensive setup remains the same. Bruner, the quarterback, Wolfhook, and Carpenter behind it. This is Edding. Almost tripped up. They didn't fool anybody. Lost 5. The Eagles had that one read perfectly. Led by LeMaster and Bunting. Scores in Tampa. Crucial game for both those teams. Chicago 3. The Buccaneers nothing in the first quarter. The Jets 6. Kansas City nothing. New England 3. Buffalo nothing. That has a bearing on who makes the playoffs as well. Cincinnati 7. Houston nothing. The Oilers are playing their last game of this year. Cincinnati is already in the playoffs. Second down, 14, back at the 25. Bruner drops to throw. Eagles in a blitz, and down he goes. Clark, Ken Clark, gets the sack. Philadelphia second in sacks with 29.
Watch it from the end zone. Ken Clark starts over the center. Watch, he's right there. He's going to work to his right around the end. The center and guard didn't get back to the outside, and he came from Bruner's blind side or back side. Good quick move by Ken Clark.
Third down and 24. Giants backed up down to their 15-yard line. Bruner gets on a draw to Wolfhook, and he loses more yards. And a penalty marker goes down. Greg Brown was the first man to make contact as the Eagles had the Giants going in the wrong direction. Right direction for Philadelphia.
I think there's a penalty on that. In fact, I think it's against the Eagles. So that may give the Giants one more play before they have to punt it.
You saw the defensive rankings. Both teams were up high. They were 1-3 last year. in the NFL in defensive standings. And now things have collapsed.
Offsides, lining up in the neutral zone. Number 98 on the defense. Still third down.
Greg Brown, the man who made the tackle, is the man who lined up offside.
See, if you line up there, then that's not encroachment. I think encroachment is when you don't line up there, you jump in there.
I don't know. That's right. From the shotgun. Missler is in motion. Gunner looking, and throwing, intended for John Missler. Over his head, and we'll take a look at Dave Jennings, the Giant punter and the Pro Bowler. Jennings will punt from about his 5. That, again, is Wally Henry. Jennings hits it well. Turns over. The spiral does. Takes it Henry back to his 33. Got away from 1. Got away from 2. Is hit by Joe McLaughlin. And the Eagles will start from their own 42-yard line. 47-yard punt by Dave Jennings. And a 9-yard return. Giants 3. Philadelphia nothing. First quarter.
USA 1 takes charge.
Nothing tastes like Hawaiian punch.
You only have to taste it once. Taste of a place. Ooh, far, far away. Come on and go Hawaiian punch. Sail away, sail away.
Sears announces the big sale, our biggest automotive sale ever. Save 10 to 25% on every all-season radial.
Bet you don't have batteries on sale.
Save $20 on this battery starter charger, and all oil is on sale for as low as 79 cents.
Oil's nice, but I need a battery.
Save $15 on Sears 55 battery, only $49.99 with trade-in.
Batteries, just when I needed them.
Come to the big sale. At Sears Tire and Auto Centers, we install confidence.
You can count on Sears.
Tuesday, a world premiere movie. Kate Jackson and Tim Matheson work together, so they're determined not to play together. But rules were made to be broken on Listen to Your Heart.
We are USA 1, and proving it is Chevy Cavalier with more power from a new high-compression 2-liter engine with electronic fuel injection. Cavalier has it. Accord doesn't. Corolla doesn't. Sentra doesn't. Cavalier has new lower prices for '83, plus a full line of models, including one the leading imports don't even offer. Chevy Cavalier, from America's sales leader, USA 1, is taking charge. Now get 11.9% financing at participating Chevrolet dealers.
My whole life has changed since the award-winning Frogger home video game became so popular. Frankly, I'm swamped by admirers. So to get away from it all, I reach for Frogger. It's a challenge, Ribbit, because the better you are, Ribbit, Ribbit, the harder Frogger is to play. Oops.
Ladies first.
Do they love me or my Frogger?
Frogger, Sega's arcade game, now a home video game from Parker Brothers, the ones to beat.
Herman Edwards, number 46, in the huddle with the defensive coordinator, Marion Campbell. It was Herman Edwards, you'll recall, who picked up the fumble, the exchange between Fasarchik and Zonka. The Giants were sure they had that game won up at the Meadowlands, and Edwards took it the other way. That caused a lot of changes. The defensive coordinator was fired that week, and really that's why Ray Perkins was hired.
A few extraordinary wines. As wine experts from all over Europe looked on, more awards went to the wines of one winery than to any other. A winery from California.
Cabernet Sauvignon, Silva.
The California winery whose wines were honored more than any others.
Johannesburg Riesling.
The award-winning winery of Ernest and Julio Gallo. From Ernest and Julio Gallo, all the best.
We are USA 1, and number 1 is taking charge of front-wheel drive with Chevrolet Celebrity, Citation, and Cavalier. With rear wheels removed and snowplows attached, these 3 different-size front-wheel drive Chevrolets are demonstrating traction enough to plow snow. Traction that helped make Chevy number 1 in front-wheel drive sales. USA 1. Now, get 11.9% financing at participating Chevrolet dealers.
Why do 100,000-mile flyers choose United?
When I put in the miles, it pays off down the road, especially with United's Mileage Plus program. The more I fly, the bigger my rewards. All the way up to a free round trip anywhere United flies, even Hawaii. And since United serves more of the top 100 business centers, miles build fast. If your business keeps you running, Mileage Plus is a great way to get ahead.
People who fly for a living fly United's Friendly Skies.
League is sponsored by the wine cellars of Ernest and Julio Gallo. And by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is USA 1, and USA 1 is taking charge.
Pat Summerall with John Madden at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Look at this apparatus bench on the Eagles sideline.
That's called a hot seat. And the seat that they're sitting on, that warms up their seats. Then underneath, that warms up their hamstrings. And then underneath that, they put their feet in there. They're on their own up above. Now, there's a bench without a hot seat. No one was sitting there.
Nobody home.
No one home.
Second down, 9. Jaworski fakes to Montgomery. Looks deep. Has a man. Knocked down at the last second by Terry Jackson. Right now for an update, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Pat and John, this is a thing of beauty by the Bear defense. They get the third turnover against Tampa Bay. Now watch Harris keep the pass in play, and Wilson actually bats it up in the air twice, comes away with the interception, goes 39 yards, and now the Bears lead by 13. Let's go back to Pat and John.
All right, Brent, Philadelphia 7, the Giants 3 here at Veterans Stadium. Third down, 9, the Eagles at the Giant 24. Jaworski from the shotgun with Montgomery standing just to his right. Simona out to the left. Jaworski fires complete. This is Mike Quick. He'll have an Eagle first down at about the Giant 12. Mark Haynes made the tackle, a 13-yard gain.
I'll tell you, that was man-to-man, too. Now, watch, Mark Haynes is on him right there. He gets a bump, a little face mask. He has him. A nice little move there by Quick. He gets away, gets a step on Mark Haynes, and it's enough for the first down. I'll tell you, Mark Haynes made the Pro Bowl this week, but the Eagles are going to work on him.
They really are. Remember, Carmichael spun away from him earlier to turn a short pass into a long gain.
Missed tackle, then they ran on his side where he had support, and then rookie Mike Quick just beat him in man-to-man coverage there.
Quick count, Montgomery. Ryan Harris. This time, Mark Haynes comes up to make the tackle.
Mark Haynes says, that's enough of that stuff.
Washington 14, St. Louis nothing. Those amazing Redskins. Kansas City 7, the Jets 6. Jets, of course, already in the playoffs. Kansas City out of the picture. New England 3, Buffalo nothing. Second quarter. Cincinnati 14, Houston 10, Pittsburgh 7, Cleveland nothing. Playoff teams involved there, of course. Second quarter score, 2nd and 12. Jaworski licking his fingers. Will probably put it up. Montgomery's the lone setback. Spagnuolo swings in motion. Looking in the corner. Intended for Ron Smith. Pass interference is going to be called. And the Eagles will move it. Mark Haynes. Terry Jackson, I beg your pardon, back there with him, number 24.
I'll tell you, if that did come, it was an awful late interference because Terry Jackson looked like he had good position.
Pass interference in the end zone. 24 on the defense. First down.
All right, that's a killer penalty. Watch this now. You see, he's the outside guy. Jackson is the outside defensive man. We see a little move there. The ball's up in the air. I don't know where the interference came in. I didn't see it there. I didn't see it when I looked at it either.
10th play of this drive coming up. Montgomery very close to the first down. Touchdown, not the first down. Harry Carson made the hit. They had the first down. They were going first and goal.
I think they'll probably come right back with Montgomery again. Because Wilbert Montgomery, you know, has the quickness and the speed, but he only weighs 195 pounds, but that's a very compact, very strong 195 pounds.
That's the story from their play last week against Dallas. Harris and Montgomery, the two setbacks. Harris. Nothing doing. Brad Van Pelt led the defense, but he had a lot of help.
That was good defense from the Giants because they had penetration. No one was knocked off the line of scrimmage. Now watch his shot from ground level here. We see the Giants. Now watch. They all get penetration. No one goes backward. Haynes comes to the outside. That makes Harris stop, and he goes right back in there to all those white jerseys. That was good goal line defense. Just form a line right along the line of scrimmage. No one go backwards.
And honestly, John, not very good goal line running.
Or not very good goal line blocking.
Pitches back to Montgomery. That's good goal line running. Touchdown, Wilbert.
What they should have done to play before that. Just give it to Montgomery. Here we see Spagnola. He's coming in motion. He'll be the lead blocker right there on Courier. Nice block. And then Montgomery just follows Harris into the end zone. He doesn't need a lot of blocking down there. He's so strong that when he gets square and feels that end zone, he's going to get it in.
John Shira holding for Tony Franklin. Try to make it 14-3, and he does. 47 yards, 12 plays. The Eagles kept the ball 6 minutes and 7 seconds. So with 11:43 left, second quarter, it's the Eagles 14, the Giants 3.
Spoon, fork, spoon, fork. Oh, look, chunky beef soup. And you eat soup with a spoon, right, Tuttle?
See all that good solid food, chunks of beef, potatoes, and carrots? It's a meal you eat with a fork. Right, Tuttle?
Soup.
Meal.
Okay, Tuttle, you decide. Is Chunky a soup?
Or meal?
Chunky's the soup that eats like a meal.
Campbell's Chunky Beef, the soup that eats like a meal.
Right, guys?
Right.
Some insurance companies send you for 3 estimates on a fender bender.
Gonna need new bumper, gonna need new fender, gonna need new panel,
gonna need new panel, gonna need new bumper, gonna need new fender,
gonna need a new fender, gonna need a new panel, gonna need a new bumper.
Allstate Update. Claim service the easy way.
The good hands people won't send you shopping for estimates. One stop at any Allstate claim center can get you an estimate and a fair settlement right here without the runaround. Put yourself in good hands.
Okay, let's watch the touchdown again. We never mention these linemen enough, but watch Ron Baker. It's the second time he's going to pull right here and lead through for Montgomery. Gets a good block right here on Harry Carson. Now watch him, the right guard. You see him come up. Now he goes square up. Now watch him on Harry Carson right there. Knock him out of the end zone. Then Montgomery can follow that lead right in there. Those guards pulling and stuff. You know what I mean?
That's where it's done. Franklin's kickoff goes to Butch Wolfolk. Butch gets to the outside. Wolfolk to the 50. Runs over Tony Franklin. Franklin had a little trouble getting back to his feet.
Look, they're shaking hands. It may be the first time in his life Tony Franklin's made a tackle. He looked like a linebacker, though. See him? He bent his knees. Looked good. Good return by Wolfolk. Starts up, holds him inside, bounces to the outside. Right there, there's a miss. Now watch here. Franklin, bend your knees. That's it. Head down. You get a little backward somersault. Nice, but he bent those knees. You see that?
Good technique.
There's a penalty against the Giants, of course, but that happens all the time on kick returns.
Holding during the run back. Number 52 of the receivers. First down at 10.
After that lick, Tony will be sore for the rest of the offseason.
We'll have a lot to talk about, though. He'll say, boy, it's tough in the trenches.
On the 25, it's first down. This is Wolfolk. And he's got some room again. First down, about 15 yards. John Bunting made the stop call at 14. Good run by Woolfolk.
I think Butch Woolfolk is going to be a top player for these Giants. You know, he can do a lot of things. He can catch a ball, he can run, he can block. This year, his first year, of course, the strike comes, shortens his season. He's going to be a real one.
The Buccaneers of Tampa on the scoreboard. Bears still lead 13-3. Kansas City 14. The Jets 6. Eddings went in motion and Bruner backpedaled. Outside Woolfolk. Some room. John Bunting made the tackle.
You know, it looks like early in the game the Giants wanted to work the ball to Rob Carpenter. Now it looks like they've chosen Butch Woolfolk. Had a good kickoff return, a nice run. Now they're showing him throwing him a screen pass out here, try and get him in the open field and break him loose.
Because of the position he played, tailback at Michigan, the Giants, I think, had some doubts about what kind of receiver he would be. And he's turned into be a good one. Woolfolk hit behind the line of scrimmage by Clark and taken down for about a yard loss. Maybe he got back to the line of scrimmage.
That was a good move by Ken Clark, number 71, the nose tackle there. He was taking an outside move to the right, and he went right around Rich Humphrey. Let's see if we can watch him. Now watch, he's over the center, right here in the middle. You see him go to the right, ran right around Humphrey, then flattened out, and right back in and made the tackle.
Clark is very quick. One of the reasons he plays that position so well. 4 down defenders now for Philadelphia. They'll try to put the heat on Bruner. They got back. No penalty. Pass is caught. Penalty marker goes down. It's Missler. Enough for a first down. Richard Blackmore was the defender.
Now that'll be a penalty against the Eagles, too. That was against Blackmore. I did see that one. He pushed him before the ball got there.
11-yard gain. Red Cashin, once again, is the referee.
Pass interference. Number 27 on the defense. Penalty will be declined because of the completed pass. First down.
The rest of the officiating crew, by the way, the umpire is Art Demas, the head linesman is LaGury Haggerty. The line judge is Hendy Ansich. Back judge is Ben Tompkins. Side judge Nate Jones. And the field judge is Bob Wortman. There's the crew.
Hendy Andich, he has a tough time, you know, with the name Hendy Andich, and then his number is 115. When you get a number as an official, you're over 100. That means you're pretty new in this league. A lot of things tough, you know.
On first down, Bruner will throw. Blitz is on. Bruner gets hit, lets it go. Herman Edwards back there with Ernest Gray. By the way, Johnny Perkins is out with a bad back on the inactive list. That's the reason that Floyd Eddings got his first NFL start today. Kansas City wearing out the Jets 21-6, second quarter. Scott Bruner 8 out of 12, 66 yards, 1 interception. You start thinking about next year, you must again think about the confrontation between Bruner and Sims. Maybe confrontation is a bad word, but the competition between those two. They'll go through that again next year in training camp unless some trades are made. Woolfolk tackle behind the line of scrimmage by Frank Lemaster. Woolfolk is really upset.
Well, that's the thing that's tough for any running back on any level is penetration. When the defense gets through the line of scrimmage and into your backfield before you have a chance to get to the line of scrimmage, you really don't have a chance.
So that'll make it 3rd and 13 with 8:50 left to play in the first half. The Eagles leading the Giants 14-3. Shotgun. They were saying that Humphrey was having trouble with the snaps in the shotgun formation.
He did his last one.
Fired one over Bruner's head last week, and that one he took with one hand. Steps up pocket, throws, and has it. Eagle 28, Giants first down. Bernard Wilson, 20-yard pickup.
We'll see Eddings out here. He's going to run it in. You see he starts up right there. Now he comes to the inside, man-to-man, under control. Good throw by Bruner.
He can move.
When you know a guy can move, that corner, Roynell Young was on him there, always gives him a little cushion, always back a little. Scott Bruner's 2 for 3 from the shotgun.
Giants on a quick count. Give to Wolford. He cuts back against the grain. Gets inside the 25, about the 24. Knocked backwards. John Bunting made the stop. Cincinnati and Houston, 14-13, second quarter.
I'm sorry, John. He was looking for me yesterday. I guess last week against Dallas, I had said somewhere that he had a face mask penalty and it wasn't him. And we were in the locker room yesterday. He was trying to find me. That's why I left.
I was going to say you shouldn't be too hard to find.
I didn't want any confrontations in the locker room. No room to run.
Innings was in motion. Wide open is Ernest Gray. Touchdown. Touchdown. Bunting to Gray. Good catch by Gray.
He has a lot of stuff on there to make a catch. You see that? Ernest Gray wanted the ball. He took it from the guy on the sideline. He said he's going to save that one. Look at him. He got gloves and pads and shirts and a lot of stuff there. He's going to run a corner pattern here off a play fake. Now watch. Bruner's looking out here. He gets hit just after he throws the ball. Gray has about 3 steps. Roynell Young, a great catch and a great throw.
Danilo to try the extra point with Bruner holding. It's 14-10. Giants move closer once again. We have 7 minutes, 6 seconds left to play in the first half. Philadelphia over the Giants 5-4.
Morning seems to start out better. You seem to go much better.
Coffee?
We start the day together. Maxwell House and you.
Coffee ready?
Get that girl to the last stop feeling. With Maxwell House, only Maxwell House can do good. The last stop feeling.
Well, sure you can take your breath.
A Ranger never takes the easy way out.
You're reaching deep inside you for things you've never known. No!
That's why getting into the Rangers is tough and the training is tough.
Be all that you can be.
So it makes me feel like I'm part of something really special.
Be all that you can be.
And I'm not the only one.
You can do it in the Army.
January 15th on CBS Sports, Heisman runner-up John Elway, coached by his father against Illinois' Tony Eason in the East-West Shrine game here on CBS Sports.
The last Giant touchdown, we'll see Ernest Gray right here against double coverage. He's going to get inside this double coverage in here. He comes up, in, and then back out here to the corner. Now watch this. He starts inside, gets by the short guy, holds the deep guy, gets in to the outside of him, makes a great catch. Now watch the shot that Bruner took from Ken Clark right there as he threw the ball. There's a tough guy, Scott Bruner.
They kept it 4:37, 9 plays it took. 75 yards they went. Wally Henry yelling, I got it at the 6. Henry's got some room. To the 35, fumble. The Giants have it, I believe.
They do. A lot of bodies in their feet.
A lot of scuffling going on.
Giants do have it.
Vermeil really upset.
It again. We see right there. Now watch here, just before he goes down. See the ball pop out there? Now watch, the ball's on the ground. That'll pop out again right there. Now watch the Giants come in right here. That was Dennis there who recovered it.
Mike Dennis.
Yeah. Three times he fumbled it every time.
So the the Giants will take over with 6:52 left to play the first half at the Eagle 40. They trail 14-10.
There's a lot you can have with a new Subaru station wagon, like great mileage, front-wheel drive, or on-demand four-wheel drive, power windows, tilt steering wheel, power steering. In fact, it's so packed with value that our station wagon can be a very involving experience. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
John Houseman for the investment firm of Smith Barney.
Is bigger better? Smith Barney has always believed in substance over size. A nimble mind, a watchful eye, and the ability to move swiftly. In a changing environment, it's a matter of brains, not brawn. Smith Barney, they make money the old-fashioned way. They earn it.
Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Philadelphia 14, the Giants 10. The Giants have just recovered a fumble by Wally Henry at the Eagle 40. First and 10. Woolfolk goes in motion to the right. Bruner will throw again on first down. Going for more. Headed for Eddings. Two Eagle defenders back there with him in good shape. Renard Wilson and Roydell Young.
Bruner thought that he threw a corner to the left side. He thought he would try another one. Watch as they go up. All three of them. Boom, right there. Roydell Young hits it out. Almost caught it. Bernard Wilson almost went right through his right hand. I think Eddings got hurt on that play, Pat. He just limped off the field.
He had some bruised ribs coming in. And he is being administered to on the far side of the field. Brenner's now 10 out of 15, one touchdown to Ernest Gray. This is Missler in motion. Woolfolk breaks a couple of tackles, swings down inside the 35. John Bunting finally got him down. Another strong run by the rookie. He may not be a rookie much longer.
No, he won't be, and wait until next year. His presence will really be felt in this Giants offense. I think you know what they could use. Of course, Eddings is doing it now, maybe, but they could use a good, fast, wide receiver. There's Harry Carson. He's one of the Pro Bowl Giants. He's yelling something on the sideline, from the sideline. He's yelling encouragement. Go, offense, go, keep the ball. Get the first down, third down.
Woolfolk in motion on 3rd and 5. Outside it goes to Woolfolk. He's got the first down and more. To about the 15, knocked out of bounds by Bernard Wilson. 19-yard gain.
You know, it's interesting. The Giants started out with their passing, their control passing, throwing to their tight end Mulledy. Then it looked like they switched, and now they're throwing it to Butch Woolfolk. He has his jersey tied there together. You see that?
Like a...
Let's watch it here. He comes right out there to the left. Maybe a little pick in there because there's no one on Woolfolk. Catches the ball straight up the field.
Eddings has a problem with his ankle. We don't know whether he'll be back or not. Meantime, Missler will get a lot of playing time. Here is Woolfolk again. Cutting back inside the 15 to the 14. Rob Carpenter it was this time. No, it was Woolfolk. Sorry. Tampa Bay got another field goal from Bill Capice, and it's 13-6. And, of course, there are a lot of playoff possibilities. And one of the teams involved is the defending champion San Francisco 49ers. They need to beat the Rams to get into the playoffs. And that's coming up next, preceded by the NFL today. 2nd and 9. Missler. The motion man, Brunner. Fires over the head of Woolfolk in the end zone. Double covered by two linebackers that time. Wilkes was one of them, the other Frank LeMaster.
Scott Bruner just took another shot as he threw that one. He did a backflip, jumped up, kind of shook himself off a little to get the cobwebs out, get those shoulders working right again.
You know, you were saying before what a tough guy he is.
But he doesn't look tough. He doesn't look like he ought to be a tough guy.
Well, he's kind of good looking, but, you know, his dad's a coach, too. And I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but you were talking about Scott Bruner and Phil Simms. I like them both, but I like Scott Bruner.
Simms is ready to play, we're told. There goes Ernest Gray in motion. He's not on the active list. The loft to Melody. No flags, no nothing. John Shira. An extra defensive back was back there with Melody. 4th down and 9, and on comes Danilo.
That was the one that Scott Bruner wanted. You know, in that situation, the Eagles had their 6 defensive backs, and you always look for the offensive guy that's single covered. He chose the right guy, just didn't get it to him.
Danilo will go from 32 yards out this time. 4 out of 6 from this range on the year. Hits that one, no doubt. The 2 he's made today, he's hit very well. No doubt about either one of them. Right down the middle and a lot of distance in both cases. 14-13 now the Eagles over the Giants with 4:52 left to play in the first half.
I'm a firefighter. You get greasy, grimy. I'm shampooing 2-3 times a day. And I'm kind of worried about that. I have to have a shampoo that's gentle. So I use my daughter's Johnson's baby shampoo. There's a big difference.
No other shampoo has Johnson's unique formula. It combines thorough cleaning with extra gentleness.
Johnson's gets my hair very clean in a very gentle way. It even makes my hair feel better. And Johnson's is gentle enough to use every day. The proof's right here.
Was Gillette Foamy thick and rich enough to restrain a rushing roller coaster? No. So we improved Foamy. We made it even thicker and richer. So now is new improved Foamy thick enough and rich enough?
No. But if you thought your Foamy gave you clean, close shaves, just wait till you see how much thicker and richer new improved Foamy is.
New improved Foamy. We made it even thicker and richer.
Next Saturday and Sunday on CBS Sports, postseason action as they battle for the NFC crown and a spot in the Super Bowl. Great regional action next weekend on CBS Sports.
4:52 left to play in the second quarter in Philadelphia. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. Don't forget that CBS Sports will be with you right through the playoffs, right through the NFC Championship game. Playoffs start next weekend. Out of the pack. Henry almost broke it. He gets out to the 39. Beasley Reese tripped him up. 30-yard kickoff return by Wally Henry.
It's an interesting play. The wedge starts to the right. You see the wedge? They go to the right. Henry starts there and says, hey, it doesn't look as good there. I'm going to cut away from my wedge and go right up the middle. Mark Haynes made the tackle.
John Madden and I, by the way, next Sunday will be in Dallas. We don't know who the Cowboys will play yet. Turnover so far, the Giants won. Philadelphia won. First and 10, the Eagles at their own 39. Montgomery the lone setback. Carmichael in motion this time. Gonna run left. That was a mistake. Harry Jackson comes up with a good play. Jerome Sally, Phil Tabor also helped out.
I'll tell you, Jackson did a nice job of taking on Big Harold Carmichael there. They brought Carmichael in motion to block Jackson. Now watch him here. Now watch, here's Carmichael, 17. You see, he's going to come and block Terry Jackson right there. See, Jackson takes him on, bends his knees right off the play, and tackles Wilbert Montgomery. Nice play by a cornerback. Nice tackle, high, wrapped him around, boom, put him to the turf.
Very good, Terry.
Like a linebacker.
Second down, 14 from the Eagles 35, and Jaworski will have to put it up. Harrington is the fullback now. A lot of time. Here comes the pressure. And there goes the football. And the Giants are saying intentional grounding as Jaworski threw it to the green spot.
It was intentional grounding.
Perkins looks like he might think so too.
Tell him, Ray. There was no one out there. To have a receiver there. Here's what Jaworski sees. Good pass coverage by the Giant defense. He's trying to throw to the right, nothing there. Sees a rusher come, and he just throws it out there. The closest guy was the left tackle, Stan Walters, number 75.
And he's not eligible.
I think Ray had something to complain about.
Jamona and Harris now the two backs. Montgomery also. Jaworski out of the shotgun. Third down. George Martin went by Jaworski. Picked off by Brian Kelly, but a penalty marker is down. Brian Kelly with the interception intended for Harold Carmichael. The Eagles are clapping their hands.
Pass interference. Number 17 on the offense. Penalty is declined.
They shouldn't be clapping their hands.
That was offensive pass interference. It was on Harold Carmichael. George Martin misses. That was a heck of an interception by Kelly. Stepped right in at the last second. That's George Martin here coming from the left. He takes an inside, a little spin job. We got a spinner, and he runs right by Jaworski. We see the interception.
Giants will take over at the Eagle 40 again. Some sad news and crucial news if you're a Redskin fan from the St. Louis-Washington game. Art Monk is out of the game with a broken right foot. That could keep him out of the playoffs, and he is a fine player.
You can get a Subaru hatchback with either front-wheel drive or on-demand four-wheel drive. Either way, the most important drive they put you on is in economy drive, with low sticker prices and the kind of mileage that lets you feed your family instead of your car. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
That's my McDonald's. Even if you have a couple of dollars in your pocket, you know you can stop at McDonald's and get a good meal. Mrs. Thomas, you're going to have something good pretty soon. We were able to keep within our budget and have a good meal at McDonald's.
Our lunch, for example, costs us less than $5.
I've been eating McDonald's food since I was a little kid.
They don't have to pay God the money to take you out for dinner. You get good, tasty, solid food for a good price.
You can't beat it.
That's my McDonald's.
Let's show what they call offensive pass interference. Here's Harold Carmichael. He's going to come and bump right here, and he's going to bump again in here while the ball's in the air. Now watch him. He comes off the line here, and he bumps there, pushes off there. Now watch that second one right before he turned in is what they call offensive pass interference. It didn't make any difference because Brian Kelly intercepted the ball, and Harold Carmichael is still upset.
Second time in a row the Giants have gained possession in Eagle territory. Both times at the 40. John Missler is one of the wide receivers with Ernest Gray, and that's Woolfolk in motion. Runner to throw again. Pumps. Going for Woolfolk. Intercepted by Philadelphia. Bernard Wilson came up with the interception, and he's hurt.
A great interception by Bernard Wilson. He ran about 20 yards before he gets there. And we'll see the isolation here. We see the outside. Woolfolk going up. Now it's from the inside. There's Bernard Wilson. He came all the way from the middle of the field, jumped up, made a great interception.
The other defensive back was Randy Logan. Wilson is number 22 coming off. And obviously in pretty good shape. Pretty happy about that spectacular interception. The Eagles will take over at about their half-yard line, 1st and 10.
It was a great leaping interception. You know, the ground, the turf is so hard on these artificial turf fields. It looked like Bernard Wilson just kind of got the wind knocked out of himself when he hit the ground.
It is especially hard where they're also used for baseball, as this one is. The home of the Phillies. 1st and 10, half-yard line. Harris struggles to about the 3. Got a little bit of breathing room before he's taken down by Lawrence Taylor.
Of course, what the Giant defense wants to do is they really want to press down here, not allow the Eagles to get off that goal line, make them punt from there, and they will again get good field position.
Injury report on Floyd Eddings is that he will not be back for the rest of this half, at least. That means a lot of playing time for Missler. Missler had an outstanding game last week against the Cardinals. Second down, 7. Montgomery tripped up quickly. Lawrence Taylor quickly.
I'll tell you, Lawrence Taylor looked like he was shot out of a cannon when that ball was snapped. Let's see if we can see him. He really comes from it'll be the left-hand side of the screen. Watch him. He'll come shooting through there. See that thing on the blocker and trip up Montgomery before he could get to the line of scrimmage. Watch this. Again, this is like short yardage and goal line. They're coming off there. Look at all these bodies. There's guys in there, linemen standing up, a lot of grunting, groaning, pushing guys to the inside, a lot of pulling, pushing. The only thing we need there is some dirt and mud. That's good stuff. Look at all those bodies. Flying up, down.
A little dirt, some mud, and we'd have a program cover right there.
Uniforms are too clean.
Kansas City 24, the Jets 6. Just got a field goal. Chicago has moved further in front of Tampa Bay now, 20-6. And Buffalo over New England 14-3. Cincinnati 21, Houston 13. And Pittsburgh hanging on over Cleveland 13-7.
There's Harold Carmichael. He's still upset about that penalty they called him on an offensive pass interference. I'll tell you, he's been a good one for a long period of time.
Has he ever? There is next year's head coach in the red with the hat and the headphones on. That's Bill Parcells. We had a chance to speak with him last night, and we'll hear from him today at halftime.
They don't give him a suite. You know, these teams always give a suite to the head coach, and of course Ray Perkins still gets a suite. Bill Parcells gets a single bed, a low floor.
Correction on that Buffalo New England score. It's 13-3. Third down, 7 at the 4. Jaworski pitches back to Montgomery. Montgomery is swarmed on by that Giant defense led by Mark Haynes.
That's what the Eagles wanted to do. I mean, the Giants wanted to do is keep him down there. Let's watch Brad Van Pelt there. He's taking on the tight end, riding to the outside. Don't let him get outside. You get spun around, get another block, keep spinning, twirling. Mark Haynes up there, and then Brian Kelly comes in to finish it off. That's good defense by the Giants, and that's what they wanted to do to the Eagles.
So, the Eagles will have to punt. We'll return to Veterans Stadium after this word from the National Football League.
They came in the hulls of ships to a new land.
The preceding message was brought to you by Rob Carpenter and the National Football League. Philadelphia 14, the Giants 13. 2 minutes left to play in the first half. Max Runniger make an appearance for Philadelphia. He has been punting well lately.
What the officials writing there is in the last 2 minutes of the half, in the last 2 minutes of the game, the teams can change captains. The captains are the only ones that can call timeout. So they write down the new captain so they remember them.
Runniger standing right at the end of the end zone. If he steps on the white part of it, that's a safety. You saw him turn and check it. Leon Bright standing at midfield. Good snap. Good kick by Runniger. Doesn't turn over. Bright takes it at the 43-yard line of Philadelphia. Bright shakes a couple of tackles. Gets inside the 35 to the 32 before Zach Valentine took him down. 39-yard punt. 11-yard return by Bright. Coming up at the half, Brendan Irv with scores and highlights from around the league and keeping you up to date on the playoff picture, which begins next week. And the legends of the game with Jim Taylor. You didn't
see him run, you miss one of the toughest runners that ever played.
That's where I learned that play that I used to always run, the fullback off tackle to the weak side. Jim Taylor could do that better than anyone.
He has some good blockers in front of him, and so do you. This is Carpenter. To the 30, to the 29 perhaps. Got a 5-yard pickup, stopped by Carl Hairston. Carpenter, of course, in the wild card playoff game last year. Carl Hairston is the Eagle with the difficulty in that wild card playoff game last year. Carpenter, when the chips were down, really controlled the ball in the ball game in the closing minutes.
Hey, we're looking at Carl Hairston, who's down there, and Carl Hairston is probably one of the best players against the run. He plays right end, and watch him. He's all over the field on any defensive play. See how he comes down the field? He starts out as a defensive lineman, but he plays a lot like a linebacker. Looked like he just hit his head into that turf, didn't it?
That's all that happened, and his shoulder maybe. But he has, you're right, been a good player.
Tell you, that thing is like cement down there. You know, the trainer of the Philadelphia Eagles, who we just saw there, Otho Davis, is one of the best trainers in the National Football League. This guy, he has everything in that training room and for these players, and the fellow who's looking at us right now, just like he can hear us. And he makes good chili, too.
Oh, does he ever? We had some just before the game. I might go back. Don't forget, on Saturday, January the 15th, two of the best quarterbacks around will face off in the East-West Shrine game. Stanford's John Elway will be one, and the other will be Tony Easton of Illinois. They'll go head-to-head in what is a true all-star cast. Here's where Carpenter got hurt. Not Carpenter, Hairston. Sorry.
Right there, Hairston. You see that? Yeah, he just dove head first into the turf. Have a little headache for a while. So he's saying he's fine now. I'm fine. Anytime they put that helmet back on, that means they're okay.
We're okay to play, and we're ready to go.
And he'll be back in the next play.
Greg Brown has replaced him. 2nd and 5. 1:33 left. First half, the ball's at the 29. Bruner looking left. Finds Woolfolk. Taken down by Reggie Wilkes. A good play by the linebacker, Georgia Tech.
That was a play you would think that Woolfolk would have gotten a little deeper on that, because it was a play that they completed a pass, and really, for all intent and purposes, they didn't gain any yardage at all. It's not worth throwing it.
So it's 3rd and 6. The clock running. Line of scrimmage at 28. Giants have 2 timeouts remaining as Ernest Gray starts in motion. Bruner looking in that direction. Now looks back left. Just gets rid of it. Pass is intercepted. John Bunning made the diving interception for the Eagles. Reggie Wilkes is the man who hit Bruner. That's his 3rd pass picked off today.
And Reggie Wilkes should be the one that gets congratulated coming off the field, because he's the one that did it. He's the one that hit Bruner as he threw the ball. Let's see, he'll be coming from the right-hand side of the screen. Now watch Bruner. He's starting, good coverage. You see that Wilkes hit him just as he was throwing the ball, and that's why it was intercepted. Reggie Wilkes got that one. Thank you. There he is, like magic. Well, that's John Bunning. He's the guy that intercepted it. He's keeping that ball, too. They all keep those balls now.
They carry him around during the offseason if they don't make the playoffs. First down, Eagles at their own 17-yard line. 50 seconds left to play. The Eagles have all 3 of their timeouts remaining, so they got time to do something. And Jaworski starts to do it. Jerome Sally came in with a sack, helped by Lawrence Taylor, but Sally was there first. 2nd time Jaworski's been down.
Jaworski was trying to go deep on this one. Watch him. He'll start here. He's looking to his left, down deep. He's trying to find Ron Smith. He looks. He's just supposed to throw it, and there's big Jerome Sally saying, nope, not on this one, you're not.
Jerome Salley is 6'3", 260. From Missouri, as we told you, he was the last cut by the New Orleans Saints, and then the Giants signed him. The Eagles have called, Giants, I beg you, have called a timeout, so they have one left. Big Harold Carmichael. Quite a high school team he was on. He was a wide receiver, and Ken Burrow, fine wide receiver for the Houston Oilers and the Saints over the years, was the quarterback on the same team. Mark Mosley's consecutive field goal streak has come to an end. He missed a 40-yarder against the Cardinals. So it's still Washington 14, St. Louis nothing. What do you have, 24 in a row?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's right. Second and 17. Draw play, Montgomery's going nowhere as Lawrence Taylor and Brian Kelly are there quickly, and the Giants call their last timeout.
That's a tough play to run down here because the Giants are playing run. They're bringing their linebackers, and a draw play, which is a delayed type action, really doesn't have a chance to develop. You see, because the Giants aren't dropping back. They aren't playing pass defense. They have all their linebackers right up on the line of scrimmage. No chance, no way, no how.
And Lawrence Taylor is so quick. He's almost too quick for the cameras. He's just a blur when he comes into the picture.
See, this is only third down. The Giants really won't be able to do anything about this because they don't have any more timeouts.
In your opinion, John, you've seen Lawrence now for 2 years. How much better can he get?
I don't think he can get any better. The only thing he can do is either get injured or start thinking too much and slip down. I don't know how he can be any better than he is.
I don't either. He, of course, is one of the 4 Giants going to the Pro Bowl. Harry Carson, another linebacker, is the other. Mark Haynes, cornerback, and Dave Jennings, the punter. The Eagles have only one, Dennis Harrison.
I think Lawrence Taylor is not only the best linebacker in the NFL, I think he's one of the best players in the NFL.
Well, a lot of people who agree with you. Nothing doing by Montgomery. He struggles outside the 10. George Martin on the stop. Clock continues to run. They ought to be able to get it done without having to kick.
Right. They'll send their punt team in. The Giants will send their punt return team in, but the ball won't be snapped.
So it would appear that the halftime score will say as is. Clock still running. Down to 6 seconds now. The Eagles won't snap it. And they'll head to the locker room. A very, very well played first half. Good by both teams. Ray Perkins heads off.
Welcome back to New York. And you know the great Green Bay teams of the 60s.